there is like theory section, there's a mock exam section, there's hazard perception sections. There's about 14 different sections that you'll be tested on. So go through those 14 sections, and after the section, do the questions for them. I got this guy, I think it was 2 weeks or 3 weeks before my actual test, from a church sister of mine, and she literally did her driving test I think 2 weeks before me, something like that. And then she told me about him, and I am so sorry I didn't know about him from earlier, because if I ever knew about this guy, listen, I'll binge on him. Hi guys, oh my gosh, oh my it's been so long since I've been on here. How are you all doing? How are my subscribers? You guys must be thinking, what happened to this young lady? She went under a rock or somewhere. Oh my gosh, what happened to her? Where's she there? Where's she gone? Welcome back to another video. My apologies that I've been absent for so long. Listen, a lot has been happening, a lot. But today I'm talking to you about my driving theory test. Yeah guys, like you can see from the description below that I was successful in my driving theory exam on my first attempt. So if you want to know more about all my tips and tricks and fingertips and everything of how I passed my UK driving theory test in one go in my first attempt, then stay tuned to this video. Yes guys, so welcome back for those who stay tuned. So for those who are new to my channel, I'm Annakay, the lovely Annakay. And yeah, so basically I would say I sort of talk to you about anything migration, nursing and all of that, right? But we've had a whole heap of mix and blem. So we've been talking about the braces journey. I will do an update about that, guys, because it's been 1 year on my braces journey, and some of you that was following me from before already see the results of that, but I will do an update about that. Today is not about that. Today is about my driving theory test. Yeah, so I did my driving theory, it's been a while now actually. I did it in November last year, November 2024, 22nd of November to be precise. And I studied, I think I was revising about maybe 2 months prior. I think I booked the test in September for November. Yeah, so I took 2 months to actually study, and I will show you somewhere maybe on the screen the theory, the app that I was using. So initially when I booked my test, I bought the highway code. Yeah, I bought the highway code and I was studying from the highway code, and somebody said to me, oh no girl, that's dinosaur behavior. Somebody said to me, don't just use the highway code, you can't just sit and read, you need to actually do some practicing, do some questions. And so they got me this theory test. Yeah, it's called Theory Test Pass. Yeah, that's what it's called. And with that app, it's so brilliant. Like it goes through every single area of the exam that you need to study for, and there are of course questions. There's loads of questions in the test bank. The questions don't repeat from the test bank, let me just say, but it does equip you enough to be prepared for what you will see on the actual exams. Once you go on the app, they give an opportunity to actually set when your test date is. When you set your test date, then they'll give you like a countdown, and they tell you sort of like how many questions you need to be doing per day. And as it gets closer to your test, you would find out the questions increase per day. So for example, it will start off by saying, okay, maybe depending on the time span for your test, until the day onto your test, you will see like, okay, 13 questions per day. Then as it gets closer, you get more questions. So you need to do 90 questions per day, 20 questions per day, 25, whatever, as it gets closer. But it's so good because at least it's almost like something to keep you in check. Yeah, it's almost like something to keep you in check. So you're doing your questions per day. On the actual app, there is like theory section, there's a mock exam section, there's hazard perception sections, and the hazard perception, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, has like live videos. Yeah, the videos are actual, like you're feeling like you're there in the car driving for real. They're proper like hazard perception what do you call it now, they're proper like hazard perception scenarios, like real scenarios in a sense that you would see, and they're very helpful. Of course, you get a score at the end as well. What else is on the app? Mark, highway code. The highway code is actually on there as well. So even though I bought the highway code book, it's actually there. There's road signs. You can just go through just the road sign areas. You can go through just the highway code if you want to. But I would recommend that you don't just read the highway code, because you find that you really need to read the questions. Like, you really need to do the questions. The practice is very, very important. So I wouldn't just go through the highway codes if I were you. Take the advice of the person that told me not to just do the highway codes, and I'm happy that I listened, because I feel like doing the questions really equipped me. You have mock, you have practice zones, and like you can go through mock exam where they will give you a mixture of everything, just as how it would on the actual day for the 50 questions, and you need to get 43 correct to pass your test. Yeah, so you're only allowed to get 7 incorrect. And then for the hazard perception, it's out of 75, and I believe you need to get 45, if memory serves me right, or 47 to pass. But you will see all of that. The information will be there. But the hazard perception is, some people find it a bit challenging, but it's not difficult to pass once you master the skills of like double click. So I use this guy, and I'll put his link in the description, because oh my days, I cannot recommend him anymore. Well, his name is Dorian, but his YouTube channel is Driving Theory UK, and I'll put the link to his YouTube in the description below. Oh my days, I got this guy, I think it was 2 weeks or 3 weeks before my actual test, from a church sister of mine, and she literally did her driving test I think 2 weeks before me, something like that. And then she told me about him, and I am so sorry I didn't know about him from earlier, because if I ever knew about this guy, listen, I'll binge on him and I wouldn't even struggle. I mean, it wasn't too much of a struggle because I gave myself enough time, but he's so good. The guy is so good. His strategies, his techniques, his like acronyms and the ways of remembering things. That he's got this thing where he said, okay, when they're talking about like the lines on the motorway, like the colors of the motorway, he gave us this nice way of remembering from using the actual word motorway. Like, it goes from the colors, from the letters. Listen, he's awesome. Just check him out, guys. Just check him out. But yeah, his name is Dorian, and he actually does live sessions on a Monday as well, Monday afternoon at 4:30 p.m. UK time, that's GMT. He does live, and he goes through like a mock test. He also goes through hazard perception, but he goes through like a full mock. I think it's 20 questions he will go throughout the live, and he will talk through it and stuff like that, and give you hints and tips and fingertips and everything. Like, he's absolutely amazing, and I would definitely recommend the app. So one of those, I'm not saying that you have to get this particular app that I got. I guess, you know, whichever one or other apps, but just know that it needs to be an app that's what do you call it, okay, by the Driving Theory of the UK. So there are a few apps. This one, and I think the one that Dorian uses as well. I don't know if it's Theory for you or 4 for you or 4-in-1 or something like that. But there are some apps that basically they're accredited. I would say it's not really accredited. I'm looking for is a word, but they got the authority to use their questions from the Dvla. Yeah. So the questions are similar. So you find that the questions on this app and the ones that Dorian uses are similar. All the apps that are okay, that are accredited under them, it's not really accredited, I'm looking for it, but you get my gist. They're actually quite useful. So yeah, and that was my strategy. So my thing was that I did some reading, and then I stopped reading the highway code, to be fair, and then I just kept going through the questions. And then through the sections, what Dorian would suggest for us to do is go through each. There's about 14 different sections that you will be tested on. So go through those 14 sections, and then after the sections, do the questions for them. So on the app that I had, it went through so for example, road sign, and it went through road sign, things to know about road sign, and then you had questions for it, so you can go through the reading and then go through the questions for it. And yeah, it's useful. Just do as many questions as you can. That's what I would say. As many questions as you can. And when you go into the exam to do the hazard perception, be calm. Like when I started my test, the hazard perception, I got the first question 0. So you have to score 5 is the maximum out of each of the questions for the hazard perception, yeah. And if you click too much, like too fast, it will just not recognize what you're doing and say that you don't know what you're just clicking all over the place, and it scores you 0. I think I was nervous or something, but I thought I was clicking slowly, but clearly I wasn't clicking slowly enough. And when the question finished, because for the hazard perception, you know exactly what you get for each question, and it was like you scored 0, you clicked too many times. I was like, oh my gosh, what a way to start. So, but for the other ones, I scored maximum 4s and 5s. I think I scored like a few, just like maybe a couple 3s. But I did well. I've always done well on the hazard perception from when I was practicing, which is a good indication. So Dorian would even always say to you that however you was practicing when you was practicing, basically try to do the same, stick to the same strategy. Don't change up anything when you go into the exam. So for example, some people that might not want to read, you can actually use the earphone and they can read it out to you. But if you were practicing by reading yourself at home, do the same thing when you go to the exam. If you was using the intelligence whatever for them to read the question to you at home, then fine, do that when you go to the exam. Or of course, if you've got any sort of challenges or disability that you need to listen, then fine, do that. But separate and apart from that, do what you was doing at home. So I had to slow down. So he's got a technique of like click and then 1, 2, tap when you see the hazard. So he's like tap, count to 2, and then tap again. So I thought I was doing that initially, but clearly I was going too quick. So after that, I shake myself up and got into the full swing of things, and I scored my great marks, and the hazard perception score was quite a good score. The theory, I've just about passed, but pass is a pass. A pass is a pass. So my tips is that I would say Dorian, I would definitely recommend him. So check out his YouTube channel, and I would definitely recommend getting an app. So you will pay for it, but it's worth it. So get a paid app. If you've got one of the free ones that have got the practices, fine. But this one, because somebody actually bought it for me, I was very appreciative of it. Big up yourself, you. But yeah, and I was successful at my driving. So when you get in there, just obviously remember to get there on time. Get there on time. You don't need anything because obviously you're using things on the screen. You don't need a pen, blah blah blah. So just get there on time. Bring a small bag. They'll have a little locker. You put your things in. You put your phone in. You're not allowed anything on you. And just get there on time and pray before you start, and all the very best with your exam. Just be prepared. Just practice. I would say practice. Don't take it for granted. It's not difficult to pass if you go through just principles. Once you understand the principle of what the thing is supposed to be, understand the principle is good enough. That's what I would say. So don't just swat, but understand the principle, because also remember that you're going to need to do your practical as well. So you need to take those knowledge over to your practical, which is what I'm going to be doing soon. So by the grace of God, when I pass that one, I'll come back to you and tell you how I maneuvered that as well. But yeah, just practice. I would say don't take anything for granted. Read as much, watch as much videos as you can. Like I said, Dorian has live session every Monday, 4:30 GMT time. 4:30 GMT afternoon, of course. And he's got loads of videos on there, videos on every aspect of the theory that you can find on his YouTube channel. Trust me. So yeah, and that's how I passed my UK driving theory test in my first attempt. And I wish you the very same. And I pray that even if you didn't pass on the first attempt, it's not too late. Listen, if you did it and you didn't pass the first attempt, just listen to these tips and practice. Like I said, go through the sections and then do the mark. Go through the sections and then do the mark. Go to the sections and then do the mark. And go through your hazard perception. Don't leave it till last minute. Keep practicing. And yeah, all the very best. All the very best. And I look forward to hearing the testimonies. You guys can come and drop a comment down below and let me know how you got on. When is your test? When are you booking? And yeah, let me know how you get on. You can come back and drop a little thing. Yeah. When I passed my test, I went back on Dorian's live and I just dropped a comment to say yes, I passed, and I just thanked him for all his tools and techniques because they really did help. Yeah. So yeah, thank you for staying on, and I know it's been ages. I promise to do a little bit better this 2025. So thanks for staying on and watching my video. For those of you who have not yet subscribed, please subscribe to my video. We are almost there, guys. I'm at 900 and something as at the day of this video. I would love to be able to thrash that 1,000 subscribers goal, yeah? So help your girl to get to that 1,000 subscribers. drop a comment, like and share the video with your peeps and your friends, and yeah, I will see you in the success stories in the comment. Thanks for watching, guys. On to the next video. Bye.